Hello and welcome to Micro Jurassic World. Here I have faithfully recreated the entire park as it was during the events of the movie. That means all your favourite canon attractions, locations and dinosaurs are here, and while I have tried to squeeze everything in and be as accurate as possible, you may still notice a couple of mistakes. However, I do want to try and push most of the blame onto the game's limitations. A good example of this is the fact that I tried to build it on the actual island of Isla Nublar, but you will see the mainland is about 5 feet away in every direction. This is because the game doesn't allow you to build faraway islands, and so I had to cut around a square map with water. Now there's a lot to see and do, and so in this video we will focus on the southern half of the island, and we start off like any guest at Ferry Landing. Unfortunately, no ferries will be landing as the game doesn't let you have boats or docks or anything like that, so I've had to just have a regular path with wooden benches to act as the wooden dock. Now, to actually have guests walking into the path like this, I had to build an arrival point, obviously, but you can't do that on water, so I had to hide the surrounding grass little island it's on with rocks and trees, so it kind of looks nothing like a ferry, but it definitely looks a lot prettier than it was, just very barren. And you'll notice the monorail up on the hill there, just like the film, with the monorail coming in from the right-hand side. However, this area now wasn't actually in the film or anything, so I'm kind of making this bit up, but I imagine it as a two-path system. The one on the right with the umbrellas is where you wait to leave. This one on the left, you go straight through. And I don't want the guests merging with each other, causing a traffic jam. So if you're leaving the park, you can sit, chill, have a coffee. This is a cafe, you've got a toilet. And then obviously guests arriving at the park, you can go straight in, go on the monorail and just go see those dinosaurs, because you do not want to wait around when you've paid all this money to go see dinosaurs. You will probably notice there isn't a big Jurassic World gate, and that's because, once again, the game doesn't have it. See what I mean about the game limitations? I mean, look, even the monorail doesn't even connect when you try and make a loop. So before, when I was saying blame the game if there's a mistake, I wasn't saying I'm perfect, I'm just saying I really have tried my best to fix the stuff that the game doesn't let you do. Now, up ahead isn't the aviary, in case you're wondering. That is the Botanical Gardens, but we'll get to that. The first attraction I'm going to show you is the golf course. Before that, though, I need to show you the plaza that connects so many canon attractions, Serenity South. Now, this wasn't actually in the film, it was just basically a necessity to, like I say, connect lots of canon attractions. Now, you will notice there are lots of Jurassic Park decorations, and that's for two reasons. Number one, there's not enough Jurassic World decorations, so it would be a bit repetitive. And two, I wanted a country club vibe, so Jurassic Park fits. Now, this is the entrance to the golf course. Unfortunately, there's a bit of a problem, because this map is so big and so detailed that it became very, very, very laggy. Now, I mean, when we're talking so laggy, it was literally unplayable, which is why I basically had to delete all the areas I wasn't using, such as, the restricted section and Cretaceous cruise, which is why, only this is used. The areas you can actually see. Obviously, Main Street has to be there because you can see it from the hotel, which is also in this video. But other than that, everything else has just been deleted because otherwise it was far too unplayable, unfilmable, everything. And an issue is that because I've got these two different saves, one where everything's deleted, and one which is like my full big park, which I did an overview earlier, I've been editing the big park to make it perfect, and I didn't realize, but I actually changed the golf course in that one rather than the deleted one. So basically, this is the problem. Dinosaurs started walking onto the path, and I basically just had to refilm the whole thing in the laggy version. So if you notice the tour is currently laggy, that's why. This is the first attraction that we're seeing at Jurassic World. As we go under the sign that clearly says Jurassic Golf, you will come across the area where you're meant to pick up your golf clubs and golf hats and basically anything else that you need to play golf, I'm not really sure. And you will also notice that there are big rocks on either side of the pathing here at Jurassic World, and that's because safety is of the utmost importance. We would never let a dinosaur come on the path where guests are, obviously. Now, as we come to our first tee-off location, which is basically where you hit the ball in golf, you will notice a big boulder, a flag, and a light. And that's basically your indicator of where you've got to try and hit the ball. Now, this definitely has more of a mini golf vibe, because it's kind of whoever gets the most points wins. Well, I suppose that's regular golf too, but you know what I mean. Like you've got a hole going down a ditch and a hole going up a hill. This isn't your standard golf course. And that's basically because it was pretty boring trying to build a golf course in general, because the game, again, doesn't really give you the facilities to make an awesome looking golf course. So yes, I kind of made it a fun little, obstacle course kind of thing, where you've got to try and go over water and sand and this, that, and the other. Now, this is meant to have 18 holes, but it doesn't have that because I couldn't really have the room. And we also don't actually know what species of dinosaur we're here, if any, but as you can see, we are coming across my first species of dinosaur, not just at the golf course, but the entire park so far. Now, this is the Tyrannosaurus. This was in Camp Cretaceous, and you'll notice it's got the same skin as well, canon accurate. And yes, you will kind of notice the dinosaurs may walk in front of where you're shooting the golf balls, so parents do have to be careful of the kids trying to aim for a headshot or something. And as I was saying about the skin, in this whole park, in every single dinosaur, I have tried to make the skin as accurate as possible. Okay, there I thought it was a second species, but no, same one. Yeah, so the Tyrannosaurus is quite easy because it's the, Camp Cretaceous skin that the game gives you. But every other dinosaur I've kind of just imagined and looked through and tried to find what skin is most accurate. But please, if anyone knows if a skin is wrong or anything like that, please just say it, let me know, because I want this park to be as great as possible. So if I need your help to point out my stupidity, then so be it. Now, the upcoming dinosaur is probably the one I am least confident about its canon. Not that one, it's the Tyrannosaurus. You technically saw it in the little blooper reel earlier, but just in the corner there, well, right center I should say actually, is the Styracosaurus. Now, this was in images in Camp Cretaceous, it was in concept art, it was in the Dinosaur Protection Group's report of abused dinosaur, and this is like the canon I've got for it. So it was enough that I figured, yeah, okay, maybe it's in the park, but not enough that I'm super confident with it. But I promise, every other dinosaur is 100% canon. Now, as we come to the halfway point of the golf course, you'll notice a second golf course. Now, why is there an indoor golf course in the middle of an outdoor golf course? Good question. Basically, this is obviously the golf course attraction for the game, and I didn't know where else to put it other than the golf course, because I figured that would be stupid. So I imagine it as like a golf testing thing, where if people who've got the lowest score can go and improve their golf skills. It kind of makes sense. Now, the first amenity, this is donut holes in one. If you don't understand that, basically donut holes are things you can eat, and hole in one is a score in golf. It's actually a very good shot pun, if I'll be honest. All of these are golf course. I'm actually very proud. Now, going through this viewing tower, I am going to show you, it's actually a beautiful view of the dinosaurs there. Now, yes, you do see the Styracosaurus and the Tyrannosaurus. To be fair, I know I just mentioned about skins, but the Styracosaurus actually has different skins because I wasn't confident about them being in the park. So, yes, if anyone's wondering about the contradictory there, that's why. Coming out of the viewing tower now, we have our second amenity, the Out of the Rough smoothies. Now, the rough being a type of golf grass, and smoothies obviously just being a, opposite term of rough. I thought it was good, honestly. This is Fossils, which is a fossil shop, and obviously 4 is what you yell when you hit the ball and might hit someone, I suppose. I don't know. Maybe if you're trying to hit a dinosaur, you can just yell 4 and you'll get away with it. Now, for the second half of the golf course, I want to turn it into night mode. So it's going to give a whole new perspective. Not really, but it actually gives me a reason to show you the second half, because it is genuinely more of the same, but I think at night it will actually show you the effort I've put in to make it, an actual park workable at night. Now, I can understand there's not going to be many guests at night, but if I put all these lights here for a reason, then I may as well show them off. Now, you do have the lights where you shoot, And that is actually a logical reason. So at the waiting area, you've got a white light, and at the tee-off locations, you've got green lights. And that's basically indicating that it's, green as in go, so you can go and shoot. You've obviously got the yellow light out in the distance. And if someone was playing golf here, the lights would be red to tell the person waiting not to come and shoot, if that makes sense. Basically, I tried to make it like a little quick system where if you're waiting down here, you'd look ahead, the light's green, you keep going, and you play on. If it's red, you'd sit and wait for them to finish. I mean, surely you could just sit and see a person playing golf and realize, oh, I can't go. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe it was too overthought. I don't know. You know what? Leave me alone. I think it's a nice idea. Also, green is obviously good for golf. Each area or each attraction has a different color-coded light. So every area of the park, rather than just having white lights everywhere, they all have different colored lights indicating where you are. Golf is obviously green, and then other places are other colors, which we will get to, I promise. Now, coming to the end of the golf course, this is meant to be the trophy room. So the amber is meant to be like gold trophies with the fountains being, confetti, I suppose, celebratory things. I'm not too sure. Like once again, the game has quite far limitations, so I'm just kind of using my imagination here. Now, as we go through the exit, there's one more thing I want to show you, and that's the lights on the flags. So this is obviously green, as in go, as in, the entrance you can go through, but these are red. So, exit, you can't go through. It's just little things like that you have to pay attention to in this park because, as I've been saying, I have spent a lot of time on it. So there's little details like that scattered all around. Now, using a beautiful quick transition, and it's daytime with guests all over again because thankfully we aren't in the laggy version anymore. Now, in the Serenity South Plaza, the first amenity is Serenity Steakhouse. Now, this is just a place basically where you can go and grab a steak or something like that, meaty. And you'll notice the yellow flags here. This is a whole new attraction. And a little clue is the things scattered around the edge of the path. This is the bamboo forest. Now, this was never seen in any Jurassic media, much like the golf course. So once again, I've had to use my imagination for it. Now, coming up is something I do want to point out, and that's these John Hammond Buddha statues. Now, on the park website, it does say that these are like lucky Buddha statues scattered around the entire bamboo forest. So, while you're looking through this tour, keep an eye out and see how many Buddha statues you can find. They're obviously very hidden. That guy's pointing at something. I don't know what it is. Can't really see a dinosaur from here. And you will notice the bamboo is just bamboo decorations, placed again and again and again and again. Another bamboo Buddha statue there. I'm sorry, so much bamboo in my head. And I have put trees in the middle to try and make it kind of forestry. Again, it's kind of hard to make it look like a forest, but nonetheless, I hope you like the thickness of it because I really wanted it jam-packed of bamboo. Now we come to the dinosaurs. Wow, beautiful view of them over here. I know, obviously, I made this to allow you to get a good view, but that is spectacular. Now, as you can see, we have two species here, the Narsutoceratops and the Stygimoloch. Just trying to remember the name there. Now, Narsutoceratops was from Battle at Big Rock, so presumably it was, taken from the park in Fallen Kingdom and then released into the mainland, stuff like that. And the Stygimoloch, again, was from Fallen Kingdom. So we kind of know that that was on Isla Nublar. Now, continuing down, I'm going to tell you some facts about the bamboo forest. It was actually 542 acres and was meant to hold 7 species. You've already seen the 2 species that I've got, because 7 definitely would not fit. Because, look, I can only really have the bamboo on the path and then dinosaurs in the middle, and 7 species would definitely not fit unless I have maybe 1 dinosaur each. But even then, there aren't enough canon dinosaurs in my pocket to have that. coming to a viewing tower here, which is very important at Jurassic World, we hopefully get a good view, yes we do, of the 2 dinosaurs. And you'll notice the enclosure is a lot of water. And that's basically because I obviously imagined this as forestry and then like a lake in the middle. And the only way this really worked to not have dinosaurs on the path was to have the dinosaurs in the middle. So yeah, hopefully these dinosaurs like water. And we have our amenities for the bamboo forest here. This is Bamboo Boutique. So, you know, if you didn't like the amenity names of the golf course, you definitely won't like these. This one is Raptor Root Beer. Again, I know there's no raptors here, but, you know, they're technically dinosaur themed, so it's fine. And this is Serenity Sushi. Again, it should be bamboo themed, but I couldn't think of any bamboo alliteration, if I'm honest, apart from Bamboo Boutique. I thought that was quite good. Now, this is a beautiful photo opportunity with a Buddha statue in the middle there, in case anyone's paying attention. And you can't really see the dinosaurs. Maybe I'll ask the gardener to trim a few hedges. You know, I don't support deforestation and that, but if it blocks your view of the dinosaurs, 100%. Now, before I finish the tour of the bamboo forest, I'm gonna, as I did before, show you what it looks like at night. Now, I am gonna fast forward this because, again, it's a bit more of the same, and, well, this tour is already a bit too long and I haven't got too much to say, so you may notice I'm already starting to ramble a bit. Now, this splits off in a couple of directions. There's some seating area, and again, this is the other way to view them. Maybe there should be more ways, you know? I mean, seeing the dinosaurs is kind of the main thing. Well, actually, no, in the bamboo forest, I would say hiking through the bamboo forest is the main thing, and dinosaurs is more of like an extra. But yeah, maybe like a little tiny bit isn't enough. But I didn't really know how to make it a thick bamboo forest and also have a good view of the dinosaurs, if you know what I mean. It was a bit of compromise. Nonetheless, we now arrive back at Serenity South Plaza, and you may also notice we're back in the laggy version of the map, and that's just because the next part has to be built that way, basically. Now, this next amenity is Jurassic Jewelry. Now, this is probably my favorite out of the entire park. This is where you could pick up like amber and bone fossils, stuff like that. You know, John Hammond's cane and Masrani's ring. I think it would be awesome. Now, as we come this way, you may notice the Biosyn Tower. Now, no, this isn't technically Biosyn. This is just, well, it's actually meant to be the penthouse, Casa de Kenji, from Camp Cretaceous. So in the TV show, Kenji has, well, a penthouse on the island, and I didn't really know how to build it, so I figured, why not use the Biosyn thing? It's got good views, it's very tall, and it stands out in comparison to a regular viewing tower, you know? So yeah, don't get confused if you see Biosyn, that's just there for a certain reason. Now, this next attraction is technically not open yet to the public, so we have to cross this little barrier. And yes, there aren't many decorations and stuff down here because, again, it's not open. That's kind of by design. Now, if you say this part isn't canon, I would kind of understand. Nonetheless, this is Camp Cretaceous Hidden Adventure. Technically, in the name should just be Hidden Adventure, but just in case you didn't understand. And now, as we go through the gates, you will find the iconic tree in the middle. And unfortunately, they actually removed the Hidden Adventure episode off of Netflix, so I kind of lost my main reference point. Nonetheless, I do have other canon material, such as behind-the-scenes concept art by the editors, which is quite cool. And you'll notice it's got the shops in the middle, which are technically just toilets, but you get the idea. Shops. These statues are actually in the latest update of the game, so I'm quite glad I found a way to use them. And this isn't technically a fountain. This, in the episode, there was a Dilophosaurus statue, and that spat at one of the kids, and so I used a fountain to show that it, you know, spits water, kind of. I thought that was quite neat. Now, this is the, I don't think it actually has a name, just the animatronic safari ride, where you basically drive really slowly and then little robot dinosaurs jump out at you. The robot dinosaurs, in this case, are little bone statues. There aren't many to choose from in the decorations, so I kind of just reused them again and again. And yeah, I honestly, I think this ride was really underutilized. I think it could have been a really cool homage to the original Jurassic Park ride. And instead it's kind of just a, I don't know, like a cheap ride you'd find at a regular theme park trying to imitate dinosaurs. Like, you've literally got real dinosaurs, you know? Just use that. I don't know. Anyway, coming out, again, it was a very short ride, pretty bad, if I'm honest. You know, I'm only the recreator, not the creator. We go to now the roller coaster. Now, just like any roller coaster, we start off going up the hill, tick, 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 and I used sand, so it didn't just look like, you know, instead of grass, so it didn't just look like a regular hill. And then you go whee down it, and oh, here we have the Tarbosaurus. Now, obviously, this was the main antagonist in Hidden Adventure. Technically, he shouldn't actually be in this area right now, but, you know, I figured, where else would he be? Why not? It makes more sense that he's in Hidden Adventure currently than, you know, where all the other Camp Cretaceous dinosaurs are currently, because we don't really know where they are. They're all in like one big enclosure, basically. I'll show that later. Anyway, the roller coaster is meant to go down and then splash into water like that. This is why we've got fountains. And then there's an animatronic T-Rex that tries to eat you, hence the statue again. And yeah, that's kind of what that's all meant to be. And you will notice the feeder here, and that is for a good reason. Oh, that is a beautiful shot of the Tarbosaurus up there. Damn. Sorry, getting a bit distracted there. The reason I point out the feeder is because every single enclosure here at my Micro Jurassic World is fully set and 100% comfort for every single dinosaur. The only exception is Gentle Giant's Petting Zoo, which I hope you understand. Their comfort is basically -10. They are not happy. But again, we'll come to that in a later video. Now, as you come out of Hidden Adventure, we come to a very important part, the bunker. Now, obviously, this is a main part of the show, and it's meant to be underneath one of these shops, but it didn't fit, obviously, and I wanted it to be a proper bunker. So I basically just put the big decoration down, and all of these boxes are meant to indicate all the food and supply, that's oil at the back, ready to, you know, be pushed into the bunker. Now, presumably it's already there because the Camp Cretaceous people, you know, eat all of it. But yeah. I don't know, maybe there shouldn't be boxes, but I needed to show that there was food in there. Now, rather than walking back, I'm just going to transition us to the Botanical Gardens. Now, I am quite disappointed that I couldn't use the glass aviary dome. I think it would be quite a cool, like, greenhouse kind of effect. But I figured in-universe guests would be confused and think this was the aviary when it's really just a bunch of trees, so I had to use the metal one. Now, just on our left, there's a bit of staff area. That's why there's 2 little red lights. Don't worry, there's nothing down there. This is still the VIP tour, I promise. I'll have to say, I don't know if it is a truck tour. I highly doubt it. It's Botanical Gardens. Why would you want, you know, cars driving around? That would be horrible. But unfortunately, in this game, you can't have paths, so people can't walk around. So I kind of just had to do this to actually let you look around the Botanical Garden. Now, fun fact, this is meant to include 2,000 species of Jurassic flora. No mention of fauna, so you're not going to find any dinosaurs or animals here. But there is one of every single plant, like plant species that you can get in this game in the Botanical Garden, as well as terrain such as sand, grass, dirt, stone. I was thinking of snow, but you can't really have snow in Isla Nublar, can you? Not really. Anyway, this is the halfway point. I promise it's only Serenity South that has these stupid little halfway points, but it just makes sense if you look at it. Now, this is a perfect little photo area here, and this amenity is the vegan buffet. Eat as much leaves as you want. This is the Jurassic juice, which I presume is just the leftovers of the vegan buffet blended together. And this is Paleobotany sponsors, because anyone can sponsor a dinosaur like this big boy, but maybe someone wants to sponsor a tree, you don't know. This is a picnic area. I presume it's perfect for school trips. You know, they can come and eat their little veggie burger. I'm not too sure why there's a whole veganism theme going on. I just kind of figured Botanical Gardens, leaves, vegans, they'll kind of just be attracted to it, but yes. Now, once again, I'm going to show you the second half of this tour at night, and again, I am going to fast forward it because it is pretty much more of the same. Once again, it is quite pretty with the lights. I wish the regular pathing had these little lights on either side, because I can imagine walking down here is really pretty, or actually having lights on the aviary, you know, light it up, so we can see the, well, there's no flying animals here, but if there was, it would be pretty cool to see them flying. Yeah, I really hope that the third game is more improvement on the lighting and darkness and whatnot. Now, coming back to Serenity South, we are actually leaving. We're going to take a very short monorail trip and head to the next area of the park, the Hilton Resort. Now, this is going to look a little bit odd, but the sand pit in the distance is obviously the roller coaster. So just imagine an actual big like ride. I think that should be really cool. Now, it is a very short monorail track, like I said. I don't know why they don't just kind of merge them together, because this is kind of inconvenient for a hotel guest. But nonetheless, we are now arriving at the 5,000-roomed Hilton Resort. Now, unfortunately, it's meant to be one big hotel, obviously, but this is now 5 1,000-roomed hotels. And even though there's 5,000 rooms, we still have to have a toilet because these guests don't understand that there's a toilet in the hotel, which is so stupid. This game is really annoying. Now, as we come down here, you'll tell this is a staff area. Unfortunately, guests are still walking down here for some reason. I'm going to have to ask management about that. Now, this is the weather station. This was basically built to protect the island against incoming storms. So they have communication antenna, a shelter, emergency generator. Now, this is a ranger post, but it's more just like a staff room, and the weather station itself. I'm not too sure what a weather station would look like, so yeah, just imagine someone sits up there and looks at the clouds. I don't really know. Now, unfortunately, the guests are obviously walking back and forth because of the weather station, he says with quotation marks, because it's literally just a viewing post. Now, coming down here, this is the Hilton Resort Spa. And originally I had it as the egg spinner attraction because there are some reports saying that the egg spinner was at the Hilton Resort or near the Hilton Resort, but I kind of figured that it would look stupid here, especially if Zach and Gray from the movie are at the Gentle Giant saying, oh, let's go on the egg spinner, and it's all the way back at the hotel. Like, that seems really counterproductive of their time management skills. So yeah, originally it was that, but I decided to change it. So unfortunately you actually won't see the egg spinner at all. Kind of annoying. Now, through here, which what looks like a big dangerous attraction with these high fences, is actually just the Hilton Resort beach area. Now, there are plenty of sunbeds. Are there 5,000? No, probably not. But I doubt everyone at the hotel wants to sit and, you know, look at the view, I suppose, you know, because there's dinosaurs to explore. Why'd you sit at the beach? Maybe if you're super rich or, I don't know, have a 12-day stay. Why not? One day at the beach. I must say this beach is massive. It's got a lovely swimming area, which is technically connected to the Mosasaurus lagoon. So I'm not sure if they filter this and clean it, because otherwise you're basically swimming in like Mosasaurus piss. But hopefully they, I don't know, do something about that. I'm not too sure. I wouldn't count on Jurassic World spending extra money than they have to. Now, as I speed down here, I am going to show you the next area, still part of the Hilton Resort complex. Now, this is Jurassic Tennis. Now, as you can probably guess, this is where we have the tennis courts. And I'll be honest, there's meant to be 32 tennis courts at the Hilton Resort. I think I've got 5 because there's no way I could ever fit 32. I think when they made this canon, they just made it up and thought, nah, no one's going to bother checking. Well, I checked. And yeah, I actually quite like how it turned out. You know, it's basically just fencing and the concrete barriers, basically the netting where you go beep, boop, beep, boop, beep, boop. Yeah, that's my tennis noises. And, well, that's it, honestly. That is the end of part 1. So this is meant to be sectors 1 and 2 of Isla Nublar Jurassic World. So the next episode will be Main Street. So stay tuned for that. I take it if you've actually sat and watched nearly half an hour of me talk about Jurassic World, you're probably interested in more. So subscribe, get notifications. If you liked the video, leave a like. If you didn't, maybe don't dislike, just leave a comment. Tell me what you didn't like. I am happy to change anything, genuinely. I'm going to build the whole thing again in Jurassic World Evolution 3. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.